feel like there's a lot to talk about.
You know what? I didn't even know what we were talking about, but I started like taking notes on some things and started just like trying to pull some other stuff together and be like, try to be prepared for anything. But
Be
let's just
prepared. Be prepared, in the words of Scar.
right.
Welcome back to Homophonic, everyone. We are joined by my co-host, DJ John Michael.
At this point.
At this point, like, come on.
Hi, y'all.
I think we should start with Rihanna decided to return to music today.
Rihanna.
That's how she pronounces her name.
I know.
Rihanna.
It's always so weird though, because I'm so used to everyone saying Rihanna, and I know it's wrong.
I've tried really hard over the years to start saying Rihanna, and it feels like my Michigan accent is jumping out.
Right.
Because Michiganders are always like, with everything.
Right. I feel like it just doesn't feel natural for me to say Rihanna.
Rihanna sounds like more regal.
Right.
Which, I mean, and she is a billionaire queen. So, yeah.
I mean, she really is. And I was not expecting a song for the Smurfs soundtrack.
Oh, really? So they announced when she was a part of the movie that the soundtrack was going to contain music from her.
Sure.
And so I was like, okay, and I was like, I'm here for this. I'm interested to see where this goes.
Right, but I didn't think that would be her return to music. Is what I'm saying. Like when they said it, I was like, oh, okay, all right, this is what it's gonna take.
Yeah. Well, yeah, well, I mean, lest we forget Black Panther.
No,
what was that song? What was that song called?
Lift Me Up.
Lift Me Up, and then Born Again was the other one.
Oh
yeah. So yeah, I mean, she released a new song today.
3 minutes, 25 seconds.
Let's celebrate that. Let's celebrate that. But we also have to say, when we say we want a 3 minute and 25-second song, maybe this isn't the route we take.
I mean, it's like a full-on minute before the vocal even starts,
which I like low-key kind of loved.
No, because I'm like, okay, like mixing in as a DJ, like that's definitely going to be helpful for people, I think. So
yeah,
we love that.
This song is literally a chorus, and that's it.
So the only thing that I'm thinking, and I'm kind of holding out for, is that I think it might have something to do with the placement in the movie. I'm hoping
that's how it feels
to me, right?
Yeah, I was like in the context of this film, this art film that's coming out, the Smurfs.
but I do feel like it gives like Smurfland dance break, rejoice, celebratory moment.
Okay, yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, and according to the music video, which we can get to in a second, there's clearly, it looks like there's some choreography attached to it.
Sure.
And so, yeah, maybe you're right. It'll be contextualized better, and people are moving.
People are moving.
People are moving. I do have to say, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. What the fuck, Rihanna?
No, but okay. Wait. Let's start at the top. So there's 7 writers for this song.
7.
So there's 7 writers for this song. They are a lot. So I've done a little bit of digging since this came out, and I've been trying to like figure out who is putting this all together. Mm-hmm. I don't know that I have any type of theory, except that this is the information I found. So Elijah Knoll, who is a UMPG writer, that's Universal Music Publishing Group, has done stuff with Millennium, Upsal, Royal and the Serpent, whatever. Jason Cornett, another UMPG writer, has done stuff for Tori Kelly, The Kid Laroi, John Batiste, the Jonas Brothers, John Bellion, who produced the track as well. We know John Bellion. If you are not familiar with him, his most popular song, I think, is All Time Low. He's sort of like Lauv.
Yeah,
it's kind of like a Lauv-esque,
or
like that group AJR. It's like that sort of, I don't know what you call that kind of pop.
Yeah, no,
it's like,
I feel like Lauv kind of turned into like, this is gonna sound like a diss, and I don't mean it, but like kind of like Netflix pop.
Oh, that might be it. That might be the genre.
Yeah, like it's like it kind of gives cinema, but not necessarily like movie like in the theaters. But
it's syncable.
Yeah.
Like that's what I feel like people in the industry like would say is that it's very syncable music. Like you can put it in a Netflix show, you can put it in a movie, you can put it like it's very that sort of what I think what you're
Yeah.
describing.
And John Bellion just wrote or co-wrote and produced Tori Kelly's album that came out last year.
Correct.
Yeah.
Super talented.
Mm-hmm.
Then another writer, Lee Stashenko, a Sony ATV songwriter, co-wrote "Crash" for Usher, as well as "Roses" with St. John and some stuff for Doja Cat. And then this was the most interesting one. Pete Nappy, who is another UMPG writer, but is the drummer of a band called Ocean Park Standoff, which also included Samantha Ronson, Lindsay Lohan's ex-girlfriend.
Oh, interesting.
I'm like gonna 6 degrees that one.
Yeah, like wow, okay.
So random. And then of course Miss Robin Fenty, Rihanna.
And I'm gonna just take a stab that she never laid a finger on that pen for
Well,
this song.
she said these are the 2 lyrics I have.
She said, "Friend, change whatever word that was to friend.
Right.
This is a family film."
She said, I wrote this haiku that I'd like you to make music for.
like, here's the thing. In theory, I love this song, and it's not that I dislike it. It's a very fun beat.
Correct.
I listened to it.
I like the production a lot.
The production's great.
Yeah.
And I love like that like backing vocal that's they kind of like chop it up, and the way that it's kind of like chopped up at the beginning kind of reminded me of like early Kylie Minogue stuff where that you know.
Totally.
And then other parts of it kind of reminded me of how they chopped up the vocal in Kylie Minogue's "I Feel For You" from Body Language.
Yes.
So similarities there. But the fact that she sings the chorus twice in the song and that's it.
And then it's just friend like me, friend like whatever the repeat is.
Yeah.
I don't have the melody down in my brain yet.
Friend of mine, friend of mine, friend of mine.
You know what? And I've listened to it like 6 or 7 times now just to sort of like wrap my head around it. What it actually feels like, and this is my biggest stab in the dark guess, is that the long intro where there's nothing really sort of happening building up, it feels like there's a scene in the movie that's happening that's ending leading up to whatever the dance celebratory moment, and that first minute is the ending of that scene leading up to the big moment where I'm guessing Smurfette is who Rihanna's playing. Yeah. Is going to sort of stand up on a mushroom and do something, I'm going to assume.
Right. Actually, Rihanna's Papa Smurf.
Right. I mean, not for nothing though. I'm here for that.
Right. Yeah.
And then I feel like that's what it is. So I think that once the movie's out, the strangeness around this will sort of make a little bit more sense. But really,
totally,
you really threw one out.
And I'm totally here for experimentation and I love that it's like not really like anything out there right now. I'm just kind of frustrated that like I'm frustrated with the way the music industry is going with these types of things where they're like, "Oh yeah, like we're going to get Rihanna to sing this song. It's just going to be a chorus." And we know that her fans have been dying for new music for over a decade now.
Right.
We'll give them this. Like part of me feels maybe I'm thinking about it a little too deeply. I feel slightly insulted by it, but at the same time, I'm just kind of like, I don't know.
So I think the other thing that I find that's a little bit weird around this, which I didn't really also get, and maybe this is where the tie-in, because I was saying how like most of the people that wrote on this song were from UMPG, Universal. When I looked at the song on Spotify, because part of my job, what I do for Peloton all day long, is I'm very involved in metadata, and I'm constantly digging through tons of metadata, whether it's music publishing, territory rights for songs, just whatever. If you have metadata, give it to me. I want to see it. I want to read it. I want to look. I want to know what's going on. So that's what I do anytime there's a new release. So of course, as soon as this happened, that's why I started diving into it.
Yeah.
And what I noticed on Spotify is that on the track, it says for the record label, Westbury Road Entertainment or Westbury Road Records or something, licensed to Rock Nation or whatever it is. So I'm like, Westbury Road? I'm like, what is that? So I looked that up. Westbury Road Entertainment is a label through Universal, UMG, Universal Music, that is run by Rihanna.
Oh.
On this label, which has only been in existence for 10 years, the first single was Rihanna, Kanye West, and Paul McCartney for 5 seconds.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So that then the motion picture for another animated movie called Home, which I think was
Oh my god, I forgot
that
about
one,
Home.
right?
Yep. Uh-huh.
And
Which she did
then
music for on that as well.
yes, and then which Jennifer Lopez also had a song on there called "Feel the Light."
Yep. Yep.
Then Rihanna put out American Oxygen on this label.
Okay.
And then Anti was on this label, which I think is the biggest thing that's on the label.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's it.
That's it.
So
Okay.
since
And it's called what again? What's
Westbury Road Entertainment?
interesting?
Yeah. So weird.
Okay.
I'm curious as to why that's a thing, or like how this all shakes out, or what that
Right.
all is like. But
Yeah.
yeah. So just these like weird things that I'm trying to put together and be like, where's the pipeline to all this?
Well, and then the music video, because you had
Hmm.
sent the link this morning, and so I was
I
like,
honestly didn't. I had to get up after you sent me the link because I was so like, I wasn't really. I was like half paying attention when I opened it, and I
uh-huh.
didn't think it was real.
I, I mean, she couldn't be bothered to even sing in the video. She's like singing is too much. I'm gonna walk to a door. It's gonna turn into an animated cartoon, which is probably just clips from the film,
Right.
and then we're gonna go right back, and she's gonna walk right back out the door.
Right. Right.
She's like, I am too busy right now. I'm
It
too busy.
it's giving. We had one afternoon with Rihanna from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. In that time, we're gonna record a song and we're gonna shoot a video.
Yep.
That's what we're doing. And then she's back on a plane to go back to Madrid or wherever she is.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know?
Madrid. I
Right.
I only hope that she
I,
is in Madrid.
me
That
too.
that's that is where she is residing for most of her time. Yeah. Yeah, and it's not that I dislike the track per se. I know I'm not going to revisit it much.
Well, like I said, to me, there's something about the track that is putting it in the same cinematic universe as Britney's "And Then We Kiss." There's like a little like junkie XL-ness to the background track of this Rihanna thing.
Totally.
And I
Yeah.
feel like, you know what? If this were given proper attention and like, I mean, maybe another 7 writers got in a room and sat
Right.
down and like made like an actual full vocal, like I think it could be something really cute because I think that the refrain and the little bit of the, the repetition of "The Friend of Mine," I think is cute.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
They said there can be 7 writers in a room, and all we need is one chorus.
Right.
That's it. And dare I say, I feel like I'm giving mixed signals because I'm saying like I like the track, but then I'm like kind of ripping it apart. But I was gonna say, like, dare I say it makes "Ooh La La" by Britney Spears seem like a masterpiece.
Look, I'm just saying that's like Britney's 10 Commandments right there.
Like "Ooh La La," which Britney did for the Smurf soundtrack about 10 years, no, longer than that.
Oh
It
God,
was
yeah,
like 2013 that
something
came
like
out.
that. Yeah,
Um, I mean, that was a full fledged proper pop song,
yep,
and I mean, it's not my favorite Britney song in the world, but it's also
not at all.
like it's I don't know, this Friend of Mine song, I feel like the best thing I think out of this song is that it'll be great for DJ sets to kind of play just one
Right,
little chorus
right,
as like a little like sprinkle, like, oh,
right,
here's that new Rihanna song, and then we'll go into Where Have You Been? I don't know.
right. No, no, no. I like, and I see that there's already like I already have ideas of how I can sort of flip this into something a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I guess thank you, Rihanna.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean,
We'll see.
I'm like, I'm almost, not that Rihanna's listening to this, although maybe she is, friend of the pod, Rihanna,
Friend of the
um,
pod.
Robin
Yeah.
Fenty,
Yep.
but I'm almost like she's like a groundhog to me. Like, don't scare her. You don't want to
Right.
scare her. I want to make sure she sees her shadow. Like, I want, if
Yeah.
if she thinks we like this, maybe we'll get more.
Right. Right.
Just
Well, it's just interesting because like truly at this point, I mean, the music that she has released over the last 10 years, she did a feature on a Future song, I think.
hmm
And then she released the 2 ballads from the Black Panther Wakanda
hmm
soundtrack, and then this.
hmm
Um, it's not interesting to me necessarily.
But it's clear that she's not interested
Yeah.
in doing this.
Yeah.
Which is why, like, if you're not going to pay that much attention to it, Riri, I'm not going to pay that much attention to it, to be
Exactly.
honest.
Yeah. And there is so much hype built up about
Right.
this
The
comeback.
amount of emails I've already gotten about Rihanna's new song, and like I said, I Rolling Stone's headline today was Rihanna releases club banger friend of mine, and I'm like, we have to have a discussion about the use of the word banger in 2025 because it's probably, at least from what I see as a DJ, the most overused word in the lexicon.
What would you say? Like when you say club banger, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
The banger to me is it's gotta there's gotta be a chorus or at least a moment in the song that lifts you and transports you up and out. Like it's gotta
Yeah.
be something that makes you want to rejoice. You gotta throw your hands up. You're having the possible best moment on the dance floor is going to happen during a banger,
Yeah.
you know?
What about production wise? Like, does
I
it
mean,
have to be like a hard hitting song, or can it be a little bit softer? What are
no,
your
it can be
thoughts?
softer. It's just it's there's an emotional response that happens to it. There's a
Yeah.
moment in the song that you have an emotional response to. So it can be a banger. Like there are, Mariah Carey's Honey is a banger, which
Yeah.
by the way, if you have not heard, there's a DJ Somi, Sohmi. She just released, I have to listen to it a few more times. I can't really tell yet if it's a cover of Mariah or if it's actually just like a really pitched and weirdly sampled, but she
Oh.
samples vocals from Honey, and it's so good.
Oh,
Yeah.
is it called Honey?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The
That's the title.
Okay, I can't wait to listen to this. That
Yeah.
sounds great. I
I was
can't
just
wait.
listening to it right before this. So that's good too. Brian actually found it and sent it to me.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, because I definitely call a lot of songs bangers, but there's like I have a very specific kind of thing in my head. You did a really good job of explaining that. Like it creates an emotional response. It has to project you. It has to be, for me, it's you. I usually use this term banger for something that's a little bit more hard hitting, but like I think that you're right. Like it can encapsulate a lot of different things, but
totally.
but like this song isn't a
Because
banger.
I mean, like Milkshake by Khalees is 110 beats per minute. Absolutely a banger.
Banger, yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is slightly problematic of me, but the song that usually comes to mind when I think of like a club banger
Mm.
is "Tell Me" by Christina Aguilera and "He Who Shall
Oh,
Not Be Named."
right,
Yeah, because
right.
I mean, unfortunately, like it is a really good
Oh
song,
yeah, no,
it,
totally.
and I just think of those like that hard beat with like those
Mm.
vocals. It's powerful.
That
There's a lot
album
of
had a few of them,
it did.
unfortunately.
It did. The one with Brandy, I
Uh,
thought. Or not
yeah,
I thought, thought you said. That's what it was. Yeah,
yeah.
thought you said.
And the Nicole one.
Come to me. Wow.
I love that song,
Her only US top 10 hit
which is
solo.
so insane.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
insane.
Rubbing that in her face as she's nominated
I
for a
read
Tony.
9 million awards this year. Yeah, I realize
Yeah.
she's living her best life on Broadway. I love it.
Literally. Yeah.
So,
Um
that Sunset Boulevard, they just released, they repackaged and they're releasing the Nicole Scherzinger version of the vinyl,
oh.
which now makes this the fourth edition of the vinyl that I now own, ridiculously.
Let's
And
celebrate that. They said
right.
they said we know our audience and it's
Oh,
DJ John
100%.
Michael.
Well, so when they released it, they were like, soon to be, pre-order the Nicole Scherzinger version. And I commented underneath, I'm like, what does this mean? I don't know what that means. I was like, does she play all the parts now? I was like, because I'm absolutely here for this.
It's just a one woman show now.
But totally.
Oh
Um,
my god, that's incredible.
but
Yeah.
I do want to speak something because I did mention that Mariah remix. I
Yes.
don't think that we talked about this yet on here, and we could probably do an entire episode about it, honestly.
Yeah.
But the 5 disc ultra mega release of the Emancipation of Mimi 20th
Right.
anniversary.
Yes, which is coming out later this month, right?
Yes,
Have they announced the track list, the
Oh
complete
yeah,
track listing? They
yeah,
have.
yeah.
With like
That's it.
the new bonus tracks?
Yes.
Give it to me. What is
Yes,
it?
yes. So it's basically, well, I didn't write it down completely. Damn it. See, I put that on my laptop.
Oh
But
my
these are
gosh.
my
Okay,
notes.
I'll look
These
up.
are my notes.
Okay.
So basically, it's 5 discs. I mean, they're going to put this all on streaming too. But the new
Yes.
tracks are, well, not new tracks, but Secret Love is on there, which I think is the first time on vinyl along with Sprung. Then
Uh-huh.
there's a track that they're putting on streaming for the first time, When I Feel It.
Yep. I
Hmm.
heard about that. Yep.
And then the We Belong Together, Mariah's Late Night Valentine mix.
Yep.
The It's Like That mixes, the David Morales remixes, the We Belong Together remixes, Atlantic Soul and Peter Rawhofer. The Shake It Off one is just the rap remix with Jay-Z and Jeezy, and then the instrumental and a cappella. That's cool. Your Girl remixes, which is
Okay.
fun.
Yeah.
Don't Forget About Us mixes, but I will say I'm sad because it's only the Ralphie Rosario and Craig J ones, and it's not the Tony Moran or the Quentin Harris,
Bummer.
which whatever, I get that. Sad. And then a mix, which I think is a new mix of It's Like That by Eccentric. Are you familiar with him?
That sounds like a TikTok DJ.
Well,
No
totally.
offense.
No. And he might be now. I don't know. I feel like he's been around for a minute. He's actually the guy behind Beyonce's Wetter remix of Cuff It.
Okay, I take it all back.
Yeah.
I take it all
So
back.
right. He's been doing this
Yeah.
for a minute for sure. But yeah,
Cool.
so that he's doing that, and then the Don't Forget About Us live at the AMAs, and then the new Kate Renata remix, which I love.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're
But I
getting some
mean,
goodies.
let me tell you something. Nobody, and I will say this continually, nobody does their back catalog like Mariah.
Truly, like
Nobody.
she is feeding the lambs.
Feeding, like, and I say this all to say today is Miss Janet Jackson's birthday.
Let's celebrate that. Happy birthday, Janet.
Happy, absolute, oh my God, iconic.
Iconic.
Wish you nothing but the best always.
I mean, she is getting awarded the Icon Award at the AMAs coming up, which I think is it Monday this week
so.
or the week after? It's one of these Mondays. Yeah. It's coming up soon.
Deserved.
Deserved. I mean, she's when they said that she's getting the Icon Award, I immediately thought of the MTV's Icon that they did back in 2001. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
The tribute, and honestly, that was a formative moment in my life. Janet Jackson Icon.
Oh, yeah.
Because you had all of the biggest celebrities at the time there, like paying homage to her. Aaliyah was there. You had Destiny's Child do a performance. I forget. It was Let's Wait a While. I
gotta dig this up.
Yeah.
Does that exist on YouTube?
It does. It certainly does. And there was a dance tribute, which is probably my favorite part of the show.
Yes. Oh my God.
Dance tribute that featured Pink, Usher, and Maya, where they each did their own like solo tribute. Pink did a dance tribute. She did the Miss You Much chair dance.
Oh my God, I found it. Wait.
Usher did All Right.
Yeah.
Maya did Pleasure Principle, and then they all came together and did Rhythm Nation.
I am so excited to watch this when this is done.
It was so fun. In Sync they did a recreation of the That's the Way Love Goes music video.
Where are the stars?
Where are the stars?
Where are the stars?
Come
what are
on.
we doing 2025?
I'm just saying, like that. Well, okay. So here's the thing with this particular AMAs thing. I swear to God, I am talking to Janet Jackson's team. I'm talking to the AMA's team. I'm talking to J-Lo's team. You have an opportunity right now to bring these two women together to perform together. Yes. Because J-Lo started her career. I mean, yes, she was a Fly Girl, but post Fly Girl, what was she doing? Dancing for Janet Jackson.
And do you know who else is still out there performing who would be great to bring to all of this too? Paula Abdul.
Oh my God, I just got goosebumps.
I'm just saying.
That would be insane. So like I know that J-Lo's hosting the AMAs, so I'm like, let's fucking go.
Come on. What is the use of being a homosexual if we are in our 40s and have not infiltrated the production team at MTV?
Come on. So
gays, get it together.
Get it together. So I'm really hoping, I'm crossing my fingers. I would think it would be so cool if we saw Janet and J-Lo perform together.
God, that would be iconic.
Wouldn't it be so cool? Like
the dancing alone.
Yeah. Like, because they're in such great shape. They look amazing.
Right.
Like that would just be, and both of them have such good stage presence, which I think we've touched on before, that like we feel like that's kind of getting lost in a lot of people. There's a lot of people you can be a good performer, but not necessarily have the best stage presence in terms of like a pop star. Right. I won't mention any names, but they're out there.
Right.
And both of these women, I think, have amazing stage. Yeah. Beyond. So and since it's Janet's birthday and you just mentioned Mariah, have we ever talked about how there was an alleged duet between the two of them in the early 2000s that was never released? Not. Allegedly, sometime between the All For You era and the Damita Jo era, allegedly the two of them recorded a duet together. Allegedly, JD was involved, Jermaine Dupri. but it never got released. And I want to say that there is an interview somewhere where that Jermaine Dupri is talking about it. But I don't know if he was talking about it in the context of like, I want to get into the studio with both of them, or that we were in the studio. But I remember for years this circulating online that it actually had happened. There's no snippets, there's no leaks, like nothing is online. But and I'm so curious as to what that would sound like. Like, would it be up tempo? Would it be a ballad? Would it be mid tempo?
I have no idea, but you know what? If it's Jermaine Dupri, I bet I already know what it sounds like.
No, totally. Totally. And here's like the thing is like I love Jermaine Dupri's production. I mean, he's obviously produced some of the best. He like some of the greatest Mariah songs, and he's so good. He was I believe the main producer behind 20YO.
Yes.
And it's not my favorite Janet album. There are moments.
Yeah, there are moments I really, really love, but I feel like that was the album where I was like, all right, we might have to walk away from JD for a moment.
Yeah. We know he's giving you some great dick. Like, let's celebrate that because you're singing about it in every song.
Every song. but yeah. No. And they're, like I said, when the moments are strong, they're really, really strong, but there's just... And even, Mariah had some of this too, where it was just like some of the songs are just like they're direct copies. Like it's just the same exact formula over and over again. And I'm like, and I get it. When it works, it works.
Right.
But it's yeah. But I mean, I think you should want that for an artist, is to sort of, okay, we've had that time, and now move on to the next and see what you create. Like that's just the nature of art. Like Madonna did it her whole career. Janet did her, for most of her career now, I feel.
Yeah.
And I think she still very much stayed true to herself in the sort of, I guess, post Jermaine Dupri era, which really, it's not a huge catalog, but she's done really good stuff. But
yeah, I mean, I think like after 20YO, what was it? Was it Discipline that she did? Yeah. Which was produced predominantly by Ronnie Jerkins. And it had some production by Chuck Harmony and
we would have never gotten feedback.
Stargate. We would have never gotten feedback.
And I love
feedback.
Right.
That song. Wow. Like that
video.
That was a comeback.
Yeah.
And like the song performed moderately. It was like, I think it peaked at number 18 on the Hot 100 here, which was great considering after all of the backlash. I don't even want to mention it, but we know what we're talking about.
Right.
But like it should have been a top 10 hit.
Oh, without a doubt. Like there was
yeah. And then it gave us also Rock With You, which was,
oh God,
the choreography in that video is insane.
That is easily in my top 10 of all time.
And okay, speaking of Rock With You, that's a really good example of a dance song that's very repetitive. There isn't really a chorus. That chorus is more of just a ooh, ooh, ooh,
right.
Ooh, ooh. I know everyone was like, "Oh my God, Janet's in the room with them."
Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Janet Jackson.
Miss Janet Jackson. But like that song has a really good structure, really good melody. And is a really good example of how you can do a pop dance song that's repetitive. And I don't know, the people who did Friend of Mine, like, take notes.
Yeah.
Like that, I don't know.
No, I think you're right. But Janet's really good at that though. And I feel like that's just because if you really like break down Rock With You, it's so like electronic sounding because of the instruments that they use, but when you if you really, really listen to like and sort of zoom out, it's really just like a song like the Jackson 5 would do in the 70s.
Yeah,
it really has that same sort of like shimmy shake and that sort of like just the way that they move, like it's just something that was just in their bloodline. It's just so Jackson to me.
I want to rock with you. It's so good. And just, oh my God, I loved her wig that she wore in the video.
Yes,
I remember having the biggest crush during this time period on her dancer Blake McGrath. One of the hottest men to ever exist. In my opinion, like he is so sexy. And like in the video and the way he moves, he was also a dancer for Britney Spears in the Onyx Hotel tour. Like he is just pure sex to me. And oh my God, like love. And actually he tried being a singer for a little while. Yeah, he had an album. And I remember this jacket that he wore on the cover that I was absolutely obsessed with, that I actually finally found a coat. It's not the same one, but like very similar to it. Yeah. And every time I wear it, I feel like I'm Blake McGrath.
And let me tell you, she'll put on a show.
I will put on a show. Oh my God.
Oh, wait, have we ever done a Janet episode? No, right?
Not in this show. We need to do like a deep dive down on an album and do like a proper like Janet album deep dive. I was gonna mention, since we were talking about dance music and like her doing that really well, it made me think of, there was an interview with Missy Elliott one time, and she was talking about how she made For My People for her Miss E So Addicted album.
It's my favorite Missy song.
And she said that it was Janet Jackson who introduced her into what did she call it at the time? Did she call it club music, or did she call it
ecstasy?
Oh, she might, right? Yeah. I think she called it electronica, which I mean, yeah, probably, yeah. Which I mean, it probably was. Right. I mean, the song is definitely inspired by like the club scene, but she said that it was Janet Jackson that was the one that like took her into that world, right. And she like loved that music because apparently she was very resistant to it for a while.
Yeah.
And I get that. Like, I think that we're all like, we all have our lanes that we like to stay in, and then like, you know, anything new that tries to come in, we are kind of like, I don't know. And then when we allow ourselves to explore it, then we're like, oh yeah, this is great.
Right. But I hope that that's how we got Burn It Up by the both of them, because that's another one of my favorite Janet songs.
Literally.
It's so good.
God. It's so good. And it should have been the lead single from Unbreakable. In my personal opinion.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
no Sleep was a rough start for that for me. I was like, I get it. I understand.
Yeah, you saying we ain't gonna get no sleep, but I don't know. I might be sleeping.
Right, yeah, right.
I don't know. Or take I don't know. Instead of tapping my feet over here, I'm kind of taking a nap over here.
Miss Melatonin over here.
Right. You know? Yeah. I mean that Janet era. She had the big curly hair, which I loved. Like she did the Damn Baby music video, and I remember her just like throwing it all around and whatnot.
Love that song.
I do too.
That's such a good song. I think the album really had some good tracks. I love that. I love Shoulda Known Better. I was a big fan of the Great Forever.
Yeah.
What's the other one? To Be Loved. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was a big fan.
And the song that was a dedication to Michael. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the name of it right now. It's not Shoulda Known Better. It was, she sings Inshallah, see you in the next, like Broken Hearts Heal.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Broken Hearts Heal.
So good.
Yeah, that's a really, really, really great song. And actually it makes me like when I listen to it, like it makes me think of my dad.
Yeah.
It's just this beautiful, it's a beautiful song, but it's a tempo, like, and it kind of is one of those like, I don't know, like an R&B dance track that like kind of builds and builds.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's great. I
think like I'm scrolling through her Spotify right now, and I realize that I feel like that the two albums that I really do not revisit the most are probably Discipline.
Okay.
And Demita Joe. And there are songs that I love on both of them, like songs that I really, really love. But as a whole, like I'm like, Demita Joe has 22 tracks. I don't even know if I realized that. That's wild.
She loved Bloated Album back in the 90s and the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, I'm not mad at her for it, because she loved an interlude.
Right. And that's what I think part of my problem with 20YO is that there's like 5 interludes, or like an outro, an intro, and I'm like, all right, girl, there's 16 tracks, like 7 of them are interludes.
Right.
Like, what are we doing?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I think the Janet album itself has 27 tracks altogether.
And there are 27 pieces of perfection.
Exactly.
27 individual pieces of perfection.
Especially like one of the interludes is literally 3 seconds long, and it's just the "Go on, girl, Miss Janet," right. and then goes into throb.
Right. I just love that, and it's just like rain, and then it's just like rain in the background. I just like all she has to say is one word.
What's the one where she's like, It's something like "Until next time, see you soon" or something like that. It's towards the end of the album.
It's always some like random like pearl of wisdom, like you don't have to hold on to the pain to hold on to the memory.
Yes.
And I'm like, girl, you just changed my life. You better work.
Oh my god, just becoming Maya Angelou
Right.
overnight. Oh my
Right. So
god.
the deluxe edition, I'm looking on Spotify, the deluxe edition of Janet right now as it stands with remixes and everything else at 35 tracks.
Let's celebrate that.
Right. Which is
Let's celebrate
fantastic.
that. Yeah, and I'm here for that.
Yeah.
And it makes me wonder because I think we did touch on this in a previous episode, but I know that Janet Jackson is one of the artists where there was some sort of fire year. That's not the recent ones, but some fire, like maybe it might have even been a couple decades ago now.
Yeah.
But
is this the UMG fire?
Maybe, and I think that some of her
like
masters got
yes,
and I think that some of her masters got destroyed in that.
I could see that.
Which is maybe why we don't have the expanded catalog releases the way that we are seeing with other artists. I mean, I've got some CDs if y'all want to rip them.
Right. No, I mean, like, I'm sure they have probably anything that's released, but it's like, that's so heartbreaking, to hear that. Well, and it's interesting too, because I'm looking at Demita Joe right now, and I'm going to have to assume that this has to do with all the recent controversy around Kanye West, but the only song not available to stream is My Baby featuring Kanye West.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. She's grayed out.
She was sneaky.
She was like, nope.
She said, I don't know her.
Nope, not on my dime.
I don't know her. You know what's funny is that I remember when that album came out, again, it was, after the backlash that she had, right after the backlash that she had with the Super Bowl. And the first single was Just a Little While.
Mm-hmm. I love
and
that song.
I do too, but it didn't do very well. And so, but Kanye West was blowing up at the time. And so I think that they shifted gears and pushed, what was it called? I Want You.
Yeah.
And because that was produced by him. And I remember that being like a huge push on, especially on like R&B channels and the R&B sections of MTV and things like that. And unfortunately, it just didn't live up to anything that she had done previously. And then they shifted gears again and did All Night.
Right. And it's what's kind of crazy. I mean, like, she's been on tour for quite some time doing this sort of like greatest hits, like some version of this greatest hits tour. And it's fantastic. I mean, I've seen it multiple times and it's been great each time. But even as I'm looking through, like, Discipline clearly, from what I'm just gauging on Spotify, looks like the least streamed of her albums by far. Like, not even a question.
Interesting.
Even well, it's somewhere, I was somewhere between there and 20YO, I think, are her least stream. Yeah, Demita Joe has a little bit more, which is really, really sort of crazy, because like I'm looking through a lot of this, I'm like, I don't even know what most of these songs even sound like, and now I'm like, now I have to go back and listen to this entire album. So this is what I'm going to be doing too. Is kind of revisiting these two Janet albums, because I'm like,
Demita Joe came out because that came out in 2004, right?
Yeah.
That was my senior year of high school. So it was one of my formative albums for me. It's not my favorite Janet album.
All Night Don't Stop is iconic, start to finish.
Oh my fucking gosh.
Right.
Like, that song and the video, the choreography should have been a number one hit.
Easily.
But
this is it. So it's like, unfortunately, as much as you hate to mention it, it's really hard to talk about her and her career without it being in the shadow of the fucking Super Bowl, and I hate it.
Yeah. Because like that, if we weren't such a racist, misogynistic society, she wouldn't have been blacklisted from everything for over a decade.
Right.
And yeah, because I mean, they weren't playing these songs on the radio. They weren't playing them on MTV, or it was like very limited.
Well, but this is what I mean. So there are things that I feel like, if you look at any major pop star's career and like the arc of what tends to happen, like there are always like celebratory moments in their career, whether it's tied around greatest hits and greatest hits release, and then, a tour that supports and whatever. There's just a lot of things that I feel like she got sidestepped on because of all of that. That like, you don't have the album anniversary celebrations. You don't have, like new remixes of stuff that's being revisited, like other artists' catalog. Like, there just doesn't seem to be as much attention to like a lot of this stuff as there is other icons like of her stature. And I'm sorry, like Janet, like you're up there with Madonna, you're up there with Cher and all of the one. Like I'm sorry, you are an icon. Like there's just not, it's not up for debate.
It's not. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, we need you, Janet. We need everything on
Right.
streaming. I mean, she's got some incredible remix EPs that are not on streaming right now that I would love to
totally
have.
And to be fair, there are a lot. She does have a lot of things that are on streaming, even things that I find surprising, like that I'm just like Call on Me remixes, and even all the remixes for So Excited are on there. But yeah, no, absolutely. But like,
I'm laughing because of the Kia rap where she's just like, is you hungry?
I got you bacon on my body, like it's something,
something to eat.
Something to eat.
So good. Yeah. I would love, because I know that the Someone to Call My Lover, which had a moment on TikTok.
And you know what? Let's celebrate that.
Let's celebrate that, because what an incredible song, a great summer song.
100%.
I remember. Oh, that takes me back to that, because that album, the All For You album, came out towards the end of my freshman year of high school.
Right.
And I had a pretty awful year. I was at a Lutheran high school. I was bullied.
Yeah.
I was not out yet, but was bullied for being gay. Because, and truth be told, like I was completely outing myself. I mean, I was in homeroom with my Cher the First Time autobiography. and I am not kidding. It was that. And I would carry around a CD case, a 36 CD case with the jeweled, like it was not the sleeves where you just put the CD in. It had it had everything, because I needed to have my artwork with me.
Of course.
And I carried the Cher autobiography and then this CD case, which contained the Pink Most Girls maxi single. And so this one guy called me gay, and I was like, no, I'm not.
This is so funny, because like you think sometimes in your life that you're having these unique experiences, and then you realize that you're not, but it's such an entirely small niche that I'm like, as somebody who owns the First Time biography book too, and also carried around jewel disc CD cases.
Let me tell you what. Oh my God.
But where I'm a little bit older than you, so it's like there were moments where it's like I'm driving the car with the enormous book of CDs, flipping pages, like while I'm driving, changing CDs, like all of that. Oh my God, that's so funny. I'm just you with this book under your arm, going to the gayest school that you could possibly go to.
Literally, this Lutheran school, they're like, the principal was like, I remember the bullying got so bad that the principal actually called my mom and I to the office. And instead of being like, we need to address these bullies, he was like, we need to make sure that Zach's not gay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And that was my mom. And that was my mom's note to herself, where she was like, he's not going back to this school. Yep.
We love mom.
We love mom. We love mom. And then it came out the next year. Surprise!
Right. Oh, that really is a surprise.
Right, yeah.
Right. So whenever anybody accused me of being gay before I was out, I'm like, how dare you be right about me that I'm not ready to admit yet?
Right, yeah. Because I remember the following year I had come out, and then there was a young girl that I was friends with at the time. Her name was Margarita. And she like came up to me and she goes, you told me that you weren't, and was like all mad. And I was like, well, girl, I was like, scared. Like, of course. Right. And I'm also like, obviously.
Right. And well, I remember, so I went to, for the first 2 years of my high school, I went to an all boys Catholic high school. And I remember when I was starting, there was a guy who was, I think, in junior or senior year, who was out at that point. Now this is like, so if I was class of 98, this is 94. So, not really historically a great time for homosexuals.
Nope.
Not in this country. So, but like he was tormented, and they would torture this kid, and they would like throw spitballs at him and like just throw papers at him, and he would go through the hallways. It was really, really terrible. I mean, and nobody helped him. So at that point I was like, I am not going to say anything. And I for sure am going to be like, nope, I like women. No, I'm going to put pictures of women inside my locker. But of course it's like photos of Madonna and like photos of
yeah, you're like, Madonna's so hot.
She's
I
really,
totally
like,
fuck her.
Her body,
her body, those tits,
right? That's what I think of when I think of Madonna, is those tits.
Those tits. Just wanna grab them, you know?
Whatever it is they do. Whatever it is you gotta do. So funny. But yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
But so the Demita Joe album though was like this big moment for me in high school because it was my senior year. And so like I really loved that album. I just I look back on it, and even at the time I was like, I don't think that I would have done the singles the way that they did them.
No, definitely not.
Like I think for me, if I was in charge of the album, I would have led with All Night.
Yes.
I think that's the clear standout. And then I would have done R&B Junkie.
Yep, totally.
And then I would have done The Islands because
Island Life.
Island Life. Thank you.
That's my other favorite.
Because that one was produced by Scott Storch, who was really big at the time. He was just coming off of the Justified album with Justin and Christina Aguilera's Stripped. So, and then from there, like, and then also like, Strawberry Bounce.
Yep.
Was very of the time.
That's also, really where I probably would have puttered out.
Yeah.
I think after that, because I mean, you could do Just a Little While as like the last like closer single.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't think that there's anything else that would have really hit. You know,
and it's crazy to think about All For You, which was a huge hit. Like All For You and Someone to Call My Lover, both huge hits. The album was a huge success, but they stopped singles after Son of a Gun.
Which is terrible because Come On Get Up.
Justice for like, Come On Get Up.
Literally one of her best, and I cannot believe. I mean, we had doesn't really matter, but it doesn't really count to me.
Doesn't really matter,
but it doesn't really count. It's not really on the album. It's on the album, but it's not on the album.
Right? Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like I love Trust to Try, but I knew that wasn't going to be a single. But it's like I would have traded in Son of a Gun for Come On Get Up to have like a full on music video.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Yeah. It deserved it. Well, it's just interesting. I mean, this is probably just, as times were changing, things were shifting in culture, and the way that we digested music was definitely changing, because this is definitely like the time where Napster and LimeWire were huge and everyone was downloading things illegally. But I mean, we were coming off eras from Janet. Janet was a very heavy singles artist, where like Rhythm Nation had 7 singles, 8 if you wanted to include the airplay only single of State of the World. I think Janet had 9 singles. The Velvet Rope had like 6 or 7 singles. So for All For You to only have 3, I guess. Come On Get Up was released as a single, I think, in Japan.
Yeah, and it was 5 years since Velvet Rope.
Right. Yeah.
She also had time.
Her and Michael were both very much like, we're going to release an album, do a 2-year promo cycle, and then we're not going to be gone for about 4 years.
Right.
Which you just can't do now.
No, I mean, but we got All For You, which is again a phenomenal album.
Phenomenal. I mean, You Ain't Right.
Great
album opener.
For real though, absolutely.
This one's for the clubs. I was like, 15-year-old me was like, absolutely, this is for the clubs.
I know what the clubs are.
I know what the clubs are. Let's go clubbing. Oh my God.
So funny. Yeah.
If I was in charge of All For You, I think that they did it right with the first 2 singles.
For sure.
I think those were great. I don't know. I would have Come On Get Up, definitely.
Yeah.
I think I would have tried for Trust to Try.
I think it would have been interesting. I just don't think that radio would have liked that at all. I really don't. It was
definitely different for the time that it was. But Janet loves a rock moment.
She does. And I think Black Cat was like the only one that was really like super, super notable for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like, because this is like internet lore, and this might actually be true, but I believe Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis did make special radio edits for Trust to Try, Come On Get Up, I want to say Feel So Right.
Oh, so good.
Feel So Right.
So good.
And I believe China Love.
Oh, nice.
Which I thought was interesting. I was like, China Love getting a single release. Interesting. Okay. But I mean, none of them, well, except for Come On Get Up and like overseas, got like official.
I will say
Like,
the other one that never ever gets brought up is I love when Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis did the disco version of Every Time. That's probably the one I listen
yeah,
to more than anything else. I love that like just
yeah,
down tempo because like there's something about their production too. Like Jermaine Dupri has a very specific sort of like bounce in his production that
uh-huh,
in his rhythm tracks and the way that they do dance music, especially with Janet Jackson, like it's just
yeah.
come on, get up, rock with you, even that disco remix. Like there's just not doesn't really matter what is it, together again, like
Uh-huh.
it's just so like I don't know, it feels good. There's just something about it that's just so their production is phenomenal.
Their production is phenomenal, and they did some really great remixes for Janet.
Oh yeah,
Like, they did several remixes of Runaway.
yes,
Like they called them street and urban
hmm
remixes. Those
hmm
those were very similar. They did a actually, now that I'm thinking about it, they did like 4 or 5 remixes of Runaway.
yeah.
And
Are they
then
up? Let me try to see if they're up
they're
online.
not
They're not.
they're
Of course
not,
not.
unfortunately.
Right.
Um and they did it's not part of the remix EP of Someone to Call My Lover, but they did this 80s remix of Someone to Call My Lover. It was supposed to
I
be
don't
on
know
the
if I
remix
heard that.
EPs. Oh, I'll send it to
Ooh,
you.
please, I want to hear that.
It's yeah, they call it the Total 80s remix. And there's this whole like dance break at the end. So they did like this really cool, like vocal odored robotic voice, like kind of like the I Want to Rock
Right,
with
right, right.
You, with the that maybe we'll meet at a club, maybe
Yeah,
we'll meet at a club. They like did that like throughout the song. Um but then they like after the bridge of the song, they go into this really cool dance break that samples, or it's at least structured after, oh shoot, some 80s song. You'll know it when you
right.
hear it, and it's an incredible remix. It's really good. Yeah.
I did not think this was going to be a Janet Jackson podcast today.
You did it
I
well.
didn't.
I think that, I mean, I'm happy to serve it
Right.
today,
Thank you for
cuz
surprising me.
absolutely. I mean, it hurts me so much that she doesn't get I feel like finally over the last maybe 10 years she's been getting the love that she deserves, but she
hmm
should have been getting it this entire time.
Yeah.
I'm happy that she's getting this Icon award.
Oh, God, yes. It's so well deserved. It's. I really hope that they like take an active interest in her catalog again, and like the label sort of like gets it together. I mean, maybe it's her. I could be blaming the label. I have no idea. I don't know what her involvement is.
Part of it could be her, because when she did that, what is it, 4 episode documentary series on Lifetime.
hmm
I love you, Janet. I have to say I was a little disappointed with it.
And well, yeah,
It was
yeah.
just really
It was a
focused.
softball.
I just was like, I, as a fan, would have loved to have seen more coverage about your career and seen more about the different album eras and the milestones that you achieved throughout all of this.
Absolutely. Training for your dancing. Like, I want to know how you became such an amazing dancer. Like, you were the blueprint.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and I mean, I get that she loves her family, but like, I didn't walk away from it learning much
Right.
at
Right.
all.
Well, and
Um,
I think it's because of the way that they sort of build it when it was happening. Like, I feel like everything that was hyping it up was like Janet in her own words. And I'm like,
yeah, she
all
was
right.
like, I've never said this before.
Right. I love cheese. Like it's like something
I,
innocuous. And I'm like, all right,
yeah,
girl. Like,
yeah. I think the coolest thing that came out of that was they did show home footage of her and Michael writing Scream.
yes.
That was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really, really. Which, wait, have we talked about this? We might have. I feel like I'm remembering this conversation, but the stems of Scream leaked online,
Uh oh.
and how it samples In the Closet by him.
Okay.
It also samples The Knowledge
Right.
by Janet, and it samples, there's one other thing that it samples, but they're like, it's they took those instrumentals and pieced them up so
Right. Right.
much
Right. Right.
that, like, when you hear the actual track, you don't hear those at all. But when you break it down, there's like a 98 track multi-track stem thing, which is
That sounds like the
insane.
Pro Tool session.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was nuts. And like all of these like vocals that didn't make it into the final cut of the song. And
I'm always curious about that sort of stuff and where this gets out because I have a version of the stems from Frozen, and I
oh,
don't know what they're from, but I was making a mix, and it actually exists on my SoundCloud. There's a mix that I did called Sunshine Moonshine or
uh-huh.
Sunshine Moonlight or something, and I put the song Frozen in the mix, and then from that I just go into just the orchestra, the string section, and it just does the entire
Oh.
song, just the strings. But when I was going through the stems, there's like a flute part that I found in there, and I was like, oh, this is good. I can sort of solo this. And I do it in the thing, and you hear it, and it's gorgeous after I think it's like after the last chorus. But then Brian and I were listening, and like we went back to the song, and I'm like, this doesn't actually exist anywhere in the song. And I'm like, right. I was like, I
Interesting.
don't know where this is from. I said, because it's not, I don't hear it in the live show either. I said, so I don't even know what flute part this is. And it's really weird. So I'm like, as of right now, I can't find it except to say that it exists only on my SoundCloud. Sorry, Madonna.
Oh my gosh. You're welcome, Z, for Ray of Light getting brought back into
Oh,
the episode.
I was going to say, we're almost an hour in and we hadn't mentioned it yet. Oh, thank God. It needs to be
Oh
like
my gosh.
homophonic and then in parentheses, a Ray of Light standing podcast.
Yeah. No, not parentheses, that like Ray of Light symbol where it was like, well, I guess it is kind of parentheses.
Right,
and then
right.
The line in the middle. Oh my gosh. That's for the real ones.
Right.
That is for the real ones. People are going to be like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Right.
But
and that's why me, Z, and Zach have matching Ray of Light tattoos.
Exactly. On our asses.
Amazing.
God damn it. I love it. Yeah. You know what? I would love to see a photo of Janet Jackson and Madonna.
That has to exist.
There's at least not online.
Really?
At least not online. Yep, I have tried. Anything that you find is Photoshop.
Oh.
There is no photo of them together. I'm sure that they've met. They've had to have met. I mean, there's clearly that, like, you know, those famous like interviews back and forth in the early 90s where Janet's like, it is dance music, so that's similar. And then she's like, well, what I do has class to it. And then Madonna's response, she's interviewed by Kurt Loder, and she's like, I don't know. I've never met the woman. I don't know anyone that she knows, but maybe she'll tell me one day. Yes, well, rather transparent, wouldn't you say? And just like throwing this like shade back and forth.
I wonder if it has to do with Madonna dating Michael.
I think it had to do with her dating Michael, and then also I think that Madonna made a statement after the child abuse allegations had come out. I say made a statement. I'm sure that someone interviewed her, and she's whatever she said was probably taken out of context or whatever. But
all I'm gonna hear in my head for the rest of the day is, well, it is dance music.
Yeah, it is dance music. I'll say that.
So I guess it is similar.
which I've used in a meme when we had brought up, or someone had brought up the fact that Abracadabra by Gaga.
Oh yeah.
Sounds similar to the instrument. This is real gay. We're deep in it right now.
Right.
It sounds like the instrumental to Victor Calderon's remix of Frozen.
Right.
It's the same chord progression.
Right.
And yeah. And so I used that. I was like, well, it is dance music. So I'll give you that. Because then people of course were like, Gaga can't do anything original. Right. It's like, okay, like settle down.
Like, I'm like, just take a joke, please.
Take a joke, and like, oh my God, it's not that serious. It's just, what did we say last episode? It's just pop music.
It's just pop music.
But I don't know.
Anyway,
well, I think it's gotten time to the show, the famous part of the show, where we like to talk about a song that we don't talk about enough. It can be a deep cut, a remix, a bonus track, if you will.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it Janet. And
keep it Janet.
I don't know if I've mentioned this one before. I feel like maybe I have. But now that I'm actually looking at it on Spotify, it's streamed terribly. It has apparently not done well at all on Spotify.
Okay.
Which is kind of wild for a Janet Jackson song. It has under 1 million streams, which feels wild. But from 20YO, I love Daybreak.
Interesting.
Daybreak. It's another Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, and it's fantastic. Just those opening, like the little like music box of it all, how it starts. It is such a good take this song. If you are listening to this song, when you are done with this podcast, go on over to Janet Jackson's discography, type in Daybreak, take it outside. If you have nice weather where you are, put it in your car, roll your windows down if the weather is nice and just play this song. I guarantee it will change your mood. I promise you. The other writer on this track, Jonta Austin, who also does amazing pop R&B
Yeah.
stuff, wrote one of my other later in life Whitney Houston songs that I love from I Look to You. What do you call it? Call You Tonight.
I was just gonna say it was Call You Tonight.
I
Oh my god. And
That's
that
another song we
song
don't talk about enough.
we don't talk about enough. And that one I feel like that is a song that you play like as the sun is setting. Maybe you're having a
Yes.
little cookout or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck me. Wow.
That is like
That's great.
that's like a hidden gem in Whitney's discography, like that no one ever mentions. But yeah.
I feel like the name Jonta Austin, I feel like I've seen that name a lot, especially around this time period. I would say like the mid
Oh yeah.
aughts, like from like 2005 to like 2009.
Yeah.
Like that, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's a great selection.
So
Daybreak.
good. I love that song.
Oh my god. Do I want to keep it Janet? I had another song in mind.
Do it. No. Skip. Go to something else.
Go to something
Yeah,
else.
why not?
Oh my gosh, am I being a bad Janet fan if I don't do Janet?
No.
Although I did bring up Ask for More on a previous episode.
You did, and I'm still sourcing a CD of that. I'm still trying to get one.
We are still trying. Yeah, so
I tried to order one online, truthfully, and I was just like, I'm just
Uh-huh.
gonna buy it, and I ordered it online, and then the guy was just like, I don't really like to because the shipping is so expensive because it's like only available in like the Netherlands.
Of course.
And they're just like, can you
Yeah.
buy something else too? And I'm like, now I gotta look. So I will get it.
Yeah.
I will get it.
Okay. I'm gonna do something else just because it was on my brain. It's gonna sound a little random, but we'll tie in because this song features the woman that we just talked about hosting the AMAs, J-Lo. I last weekend, for some random reason, the song Back It Up by Prince Royce featuring J-Lo and Pitbull just got stuck in my brain.
Wow.
A random ass song that was not a hit. Yeah, it's in Spanglish. And
not Spanglish.
Spanglish, which is funny because they had J-Lo do the Spanglish or the Spanish portions of the song, which is Mi Gente Latino. But yeah, like the song is a bop. It's a total summer bop. It's got a dance hall vibe. Again, it's like one of the, I think that her and Pitbull have done like 8 collaborations at least.
But like anything that she does with Pitbull and anything that she does with Wisin and Yandel.
Yeah.
The other two, I think she's got one with Zion Lennox as well, which is fantastic. Like all of her collaborations are so fun.
Yeah, and I feel like this came out, I forget what year. I want to say roughly around the time that those songs came out, though. It was like 2015-ish, maybe 2016, something like that, maybe 2014.
And let me tell you, if you're not paying attention to J-Lo's catalog at this point in time, not only do I think the songs are great, but it's the videos that you should watch, because like the video for like Follow the Leader, like the dance breaks that she does in these things are so phenomenal. She's so talented.
J-Lo got so much hate last year, which pissed me off.
Yeah, I'm never here for it.
I am never here for. I will not tolerate any sort of J-Lo slander. She works her fucking ass off. She's talented, and I'm gonna say it. I think that she can sing. Again, is she a Whitney Houston? Absolutely not. But she is a great singer and has gotten better as she's gotten older.
She definitely has. There are great moments in her catalog. There are weaker moments in her catalog, but I've heard the acapellas, and I'm just saying, like, you can only do so much with the auto-tune, and there's a lot of things that I've heard from her that, again, is like you said, does she have the strongest voice? No, she has what I call prosciutto voice. It's a little thin. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a style. It's what it works for the music that she makes. So you just gotta, I don't know. I got nothing but love for J-Lo.
Yeah, we love J-Lo. And stream Back It Up, because it's a great summer song. Like,
Absolutely.
you want a summer song to dance to work out to, play in your car as you're driving with the sunshine shining.
Yep. And crazy, Prince Royce just released a new album today.
Well, let's celebrate that.
I'm just saying, you're so current.
I am so current. Wow.
So, and it's an album full of covers.
He's covering If
everything.
You Had My
Love? No.
Okay,
Unfortunately not. Can you imagine? I would die for that.
Yes.
So Prince Royce, if you're listening, I'm sure you are, friend of the pod. But yeah, he's got a new album. I think it's called Eterno. And it's all these, like, he does like Benny King, Stand By Me. It's like these like classic songs. But
excellent.
Yeah, he looks great. So I'm like,
love that.
You better work, Prince.
You better work, Prince.
Right.
Wow. Well, this was a journey.
It was.
This is a journey.
It
we were like Janet Jackson going everywhere.
Right. We're going to talk about Rihanna and then Janet.
And then Janet. I'm probably going to call this episode "What the Fuck, Rihanna?"
Right.
Parentheses. Happy birthday, Janet.
It's perfect. Cut. Like, send it.
There we go. Because truthfully, that's what it was. Well, thank you so much for joining.
Always.
And to everyone else, have a wonderful rest of your week whenever you're listening. And we will talk to you all soon.
Bye.